None of it. Alright, cool. You good? Ah! Alright, you ready? Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another slide. Welcome back to another sleight of hand tutorial. Today we're going to be learning how to do this thing called a false cut. You guys probably saw in the short intro sequence a few of the different types of... Excuse the squeaky chair. You guys probably saw in the short intro sequence a few of the different types of false cuts that we'll be learning. All of these moves, every single one of these moves that we're going to be learning today are all very simple ideas, very simple to execute, but they can be a little bit tricky to pull off, and we'll be getting into that a little bit during our meeting. But for now, grab yourself a deck of playing cards. It's going to be an interesting one. Let's get into it. So false cuts are a solution to the fact that it's standard practice in card play to cut the deck after a shuffle. So if you have a particular setup that you need maintained after shuffle, like new deck order, then you can use a false cut to cut the cards and keep the ordering of the deck intact. Okay, so this false cut is, like the other moves we're learning today, very simple. You're going to start off in a standard dealing position. Your non-deck hand is going to come over and grab the sides of the deck just below the fingers of the deck hand, kind of in an end grip. Okay? Except the deck orientation is slightly different. First, you have to raise the deck to an elevated position. So remember, this is elevated position, right? Instead of sitting in your hand, your fingers are supporting it, okay? And your non-deck hand is going to come over and grab the lower half of the deck, and then it's gonna draw the lower half of the deck about halfway out, and then move to the right and forward on the table. And you're gonna immediately return to the deck and complete the cut using the same movement. Okay. Something to remember for this move is that it's very important that both packets remain squared. Okay. And what I mean by that is that if you don't cut it very smoothly, oops, I can't even really do it. Smear. Okay, so if it juts out like this, and you try to cut like that, then it's super obvious what you did, right? The smear is going to give away the fact that you took the cards from the bottom half of the deck, placed that bottom on the table, and place the other half on top. It's not going to end well. A good convincer for this move is your index finger placement. During the cut, if you trace almost an L shape on the back of the deck, this will make it more deceptive for the people who are kind of watching the deck, okay? This is kind of weird. I know it seems kind of simple, but it actually kind of, it makes it a lot more convincing when you're doing the cut for some reason. So another thing that I can do for these cuts that will make it more convincing is that you can place the two halves so they're misaligned on the table. And you can do this for all these cuts. You can place the two halves slightly misaligned on the table, like that. That's obviously exaggerated, but you get the idea. And this, if you do it like that for a second before you screw up the cards, it'll give the audience a second to visualize the cut, and they'll remember this when they try to retrace the steps during the trick. Alright, so for this next move, this is a very similar idea to the previous cut, except we're doing a swing cut. In case you forgot how to do a swing cut, you're going to hold the deck in dealing position. You're going to hear that a lot. Dealing position is a very common position to start in. You're going to come over with your non-deck hand, grab the deck in end grip, and you're going to lift up the deck, the top half of the deck, using your right index finger. To do that, you're going to actually have to move the index finger of your deck hand away. So you're switching places. Deck hand index finger moves away, non-deck hand index finger comes in and lifts up half the deck. And what you're going to do is you're going to swing the top half to the left, and you're going to grip the outer left corner of the upper half in the fork of your left thumb near the base. and then you're going to move your left hand to the left. And that's how you do a swing cut. And so for this false cut, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna do a swing cut, okay? Except immediately after you cut the deck, you're gonna rotate your left hand and tap the left side of the other packet like you're squaring up the cards, and they're gonna drop the right hand's packet onto the table, followed by the left hand. So the simple false cut, the deck actually starts on the table this time. It's a table cut, and you're gonna cut the deck using your dominant hand, which is your non-deck hand, and place the packet, the top packet, to the left of the bottom packet. Okay? And you're going to pick up the original bottom of the half, you're going to place it in dealing position. And at this point, you're going to interrupt the cutting procedure by moving something else with your dominant hand. So you can like go move a roll of tape or something, or like, yeah, you're basically gonna wait and do something else. And then once you're done, you're gonna use that same hand and you're gonna pick up the other half of the deck. For the slip cut is slightly different from the other cuts. For the previous cuts, we maintained the ordering of the entire deck. But for this particular cut, we're only maintaining the top card. Okay? And we're actually going to cut the deck. For the other ones, we simply place the bottom half back on the bottom of the deck. But this time the top half is going to end up on the bottom. So what you're going to do is, let's say we want to keep the ace of hearts on top of the deck. So we're starting dealing position, but you're going to modify a little bit. Your thumb is going to lie, instead of on the side of the deck, it's going to lie on top of the deck near the outer left corner. And what you're going to do is your right hand is going to come over and end grip again, lift up the top half by about 1/8 of an inch on the side closer to yourself, and you're just gonna cut the cards to the table, and your left thumb is gonna exert a little pressure and retain the top card. So it's gonna look something like this for full speed. So you're gonna be talking whatever. You just shuffled the cards, and the ace is still on top, and you're just gonna be explaining the trick, and it's a very non-moment, right? And we'll go over that during our meeting, but all these cuts, you want it to be very non-moment. It's just gonna be playing the deck. That's it. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today. You don't have to learn all of these, just try them out, and then pick one or two to focus on that work for your style. We'll be going over how to actually perform these moves for live performance during our meeting, so be sure to show up for that. And as always, if you have any questions about the moves, or if you just want to chat about magic stuff, feel free to contact us through PM or email, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.